They stand, silent sentinels of an age we can barely comprehend, etched into the very fabric of our collective memory. The pyramids of Egypt, particularly the Great Pyramid of Giza, are not merely ancient tombs or architectural wonders. They are questions frozen in stone, colossal enigmas that continue to whisper across millennia, challenging every assumption we hold about human ingenuity and the limits of possibility. Today, in an era of supercomputers, satellite mapping, and advanced robotics, these structures remain the ultimate mic drop from a civilization that predates the wheel as we know it, leaving our most brilliant scientists scratching their heads in bewildered admiration. We look at them now and see symbols of power, eternity, and an almost alien precision. But how many truly grasp the sheer audacity of their creation? Imagine, if you will, a world without iron tools, without pulleys, without even the simple wheel for heavy transport. A world where the most sophisticated calculation was done with ropes and observation, where the very concept of a right angle was an artisanal marvel. Yet from this elemental crucible emerged monuments so perfectly aligned, so astronomically precise, so structurally robust, that they make many modern feats of engineering seem almost clumsy by comparison. Long before the monumental ambition of Giza, the Nile Valley pulsed with a different rhythm. It was a civilization cradled by the cyclical embrace of the Great River, a land where life and death were intimately intertwined with the annual inundation. For centuries, the early Egyptians lived a relatively sheltered existence, geographically insulated, gradually honing their skills in agriculture, stonework, and social organization. Their early burial practices involved simple pits, then mastabas, flat-topped rectangular structures. These were humble beginnings, a slow, methodical evolution of craft and belief, focused on securing passage for the dead into the afterlife. The world was ordered, predictable in its seasons, and the grandest structures were the mud-brick homes of the living, destined to return to dust. But then a spark ignited. A visionary, a genius named Imhotep, stepped onto the stage of history not just as a vizier and physician, but as the architect of a revolution. His genius represented the true, specific event that shattered the architectural modesty of the past. For King Djoser, Imhotep conceived not a simple mastaba but a series of them, stacked one atop the other, diminishing in size as they ascended towards the heavens. This was the step pyramid at Saqqara, not merely a tomb but a symbolic staircase, a physical manifestation of the king's journey to the stars, a direct descent to the realm of the gods. It was a colossal declaration, a moment of profound transformation for an entire civilization, the instant they realized they could not only build with stone but shape it into something truly monumental, something that defied the horizon and touched the sky. This was the first true architectural breakthrough, a seismic shift in human ambition, proving that with enough ingenuity, resources, and collective will, the impossible could be made tangible. From that moment, the trajectory was set. The ambition grew, culminating in the smooth-sided, geometrically perfect pyramids of the Fourth Dynasty, with the Great Pyramid of Giza standing as its awe-inspiring zenith. For millennia, the very existence of these structures has given rise to a tapestry of mythological stories. Some whisper of divine intervention, of gods guiding the hands of men, or even of extraterrestrial visitors imparting forbidden knowledge. It is said that the pharaohs, as living gods, commanded the very stones to rise, or that powerful magic, fueled by rituals and incantations, lifted the colossal blocks into place. The pyramids in this mythical view were not just tombs, but cosmic engines, designed to propel the pharaoh's soul to join the imperishable stars in the northern sky, ensuring the eternal stability of Egypt itself. They were seen as sacred mountains, born of the primeval mound of creation, linking the earthly realm to the celestial. Yet even as these ancient myths captivate our imagination, the rational mind seeks answers grounded in the tangible. And it is here, in the cold light of scientific inquiry, that the true depth of the puzzle emerges. Consider the sheer, mind-boggling precision. The Great Pyramid's base, sprawling over 13.1 acres, is leveled to within a fraction of an inch. That's an accuracy that rivals modern laser-guided construction, yet achieved with nothing more than water levels, plumb bobs, and a deep understanding of geometry. And its sides, they are aligned with the cardinal directions north, south, east, west, with an astonishing accuracy of better than 4 minutes of arc or 1/15 of a degree. This wasn't guesswork, it was a deliberate, masterful feat of surveying and astronomy, performed without any of the instruments we take for granted today. How did they achieve such perfect orientation? Perhaps by observing the celestial pole star or the sun's solstices with an exactitude that borders on the miraculous. This level of exactitude, for structures of such immense scale, remains a profound mystery. Then there's the sheer weight. The average core blocks of the Great Pyramid are about 2.5 tons each, manageable perhaps with enough manpower. but the granite beams forming the roof of the king's chamber. Those behemoths are estimated to weigh up to 80 tons each. 80 tons. Imagine quarrying a single block the weight of a modern battle tank, then transporting it across miles of desert, and finally lifting it hundreds of feet into the air. How? Without wheels, without sophisticated pulleys, without iron tools capable of shaping such hard granite efficiently, this logistical challenge seems utterly insurmountable. Was it a system of meticulously coordinated levers, sledges, and ramps, or something far more ingenious that has been lost to time? The ramps themselves are another enduring enigma. While the consensus points to some form of ramp system, the exact design continues to fuel fierce debate among Egyptologists. Were they straight ramps, spiraling externally around the pyramid, or perhaps built internally within its very structure? Each theory presents its own set of logistical nightmares and structural impossibilities. Adding another layer of complexity to this already dense puzzle, advanced scanning techniques like muon tomography peered into the heart of the Great Pyramid in 2017 and revealed a massive, previously unknown void, dubbed the Scan Pyramid's Big Void. Its purpose remains entirely unknown, a hidden chamber, a construction ramp, or something else entirely. It's a silent, tantalizing clue within the very fabric of the monument, a secret that continues to hold its breath. Recently, a potential answer to at least one piece of this puzzle emerged from the ancient sands. Scientists discovered a 64-kilometer-long buried branch of the Nile River, now named the Aramat Branch. This ancient waterway once flowed right alongside more than 30 pyramids, including the Giza complex. This discovery could potentially solve the long-standing mystery of how the truly massive stone blocks and materials were transported to the construction sites year-round, not just during the annual flood season. It paints a picture of a bustling ancient port, a logistical hub where barges laden with colossal stones docked directly at the foot of the nascent pyramids. This is a monumental piece of the transport puzzle, yet it still doesn't explain the quarrying, the carving, or the gravity-defying elevation of those 80-ton granite blocks. And perhaps the most frustrating conundrum of all is the silence. The ancient Egyptians were meticulous record keepers. Their hieroglyphs adorned temples, tombs, and papyri, detailing everything from administrative decrees to medical treatments, from religious rituals to epic battles. Yet despite this extensive documentation of their lives, detailed architectural plans or step-by-step instructions outlining the precise methods used to build the pyramids have never been definitively found. It's as if the greatest engineering feat of the ancient world was carried out with an unspoken understanding, a knowledge so fundamental to their culture that it didn't require external inscription. This absence of a how-to guide forces scientists to rely on archaeological evidence, painstaking experiments, and theoretical models, forever trying to reverse engineer a masterpiece from its finished form. It was in this crucible of audacious ambition and burgeoning capability that the true transformation occurred. The initial successes, the mastery over stone, the harnessing of collective will, cultivated a profound belief within the Egyptian psyche. They learned that what was once unimaginable could, in fact, be rendered real. The construction of the first true pyramids wasn't just a building project, it was a societal metamorphosis, a leap of faith in their own capabilities. It was the moment humanity, in this specific corner of the world, truly broke through the perceived limitations of their era, transforming their understanding of what could be achieved with vision, precision, and an unshakable belief in the power of their collective endeavor. The pyramid builders didn't just move stones, they moved the very boundaries of human aspiration. The shift was profound, a chasm separating the known world from the unimaginable. Before the true pyramids, Egyptian architecture, while impressive for its time, was largely earthbound. They constructed mastabas, low rectangular structures marking tombs, evolving them into step designs like Djosir's initial vision. These were impressive, yes, but they were still fundamentally stacked layers of stone, an incremental growth from simpler mud brick dwellings. Their engineering prowess was developing, certainly, but it moved within a predictable, almost sheltered trajectory, refining existing techniques rather than inventing entirely new paradigms. They understood basic geometry, the use of ramps, and the organization of labor, but the scale, the precision, the sheer audacity of what was to come remained dormant, an unawakened giant within their collective consciousness. The architectural zenith of the pyramids was not a sudden divine gift, but a triumph forged in the crucible of Pharaoh Sneferu's spectacular failures. The collapsed Madam and the deformed bent pyramid, which served as colossal, real-time laboratories for mastering the physics of stone. While the ancients attributed their sacred geometry and cardinal precision to the god Thoth, the rational reality reveals a sophisticated application of natural laws, hydraulic leveling for near-perfect foundations and astronomical observation masquerading as divine alignment. The seemingly impossible movement of 70-ton monoliths and the gravity-defying corbelling of the Grand Gallery represent not levitation or lost magic, but the ultimate victory of leverage, lubricated logistics, and an intuitive grasp of stress distribution, transforming a spiritual quest for immortality into an enduring masterpiece of project management and structural engineering. The sheltered upbringing of simple mastabas had given way to a profound, almost audacious self-belief. The specific events of Sneferu's failures and subsequent successes had forged a new understanding of material limits and structural possibilities. The mythological narratives, far from being mere superstitions, were a cultural framework that imbued their engineering with purpose and meaning. By the time the Great Pyramid of Giza stood complete, a shimmering mountain of white limestone capped with gold, the Egyptians had undergone a monumental transformation. They had mastered not just the art of moving stones, but the science of organization, the precision of measurement, and the structural integrity necessary for true monumental architecture. The pyramid builders had achieved their personal breakthrough. They had moved beyond trial and error, beyond mere ambition, to a profound, practical understanding of how to bend the very earth to their will, creating structures that would defy time, baffling generations to come. Their initial dream of reaching the sky had been realized, not through magic, but through an unparalleled synthesis of vision, intellect, and collective human endeavor. This was their moment of true enlightenment, the point where a civilization fully realized its power to shape